Hey guys, so today I've got a real treat for you with my interview. I'm going to be talking to Henning Pauly, who is HP42 on YouTube, although it's spelt in a slightly funny way, but you'll find out more about that in the video. I may publish this over two parts because it's quite a long interview. Thankfully it was really good, and he's a thoroughly nice guy, Henning, and gives a real insight to what he does and how he does it, and his career to date, you know, studying and when he started, and all about the studio where he works, and lots about the YouTube channel, which I think you'll find really enjoyable. So without further ado, as I always say, here we go, Henning Pauly. Henning Pauly, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. It's a real thrill for me, as I said just now, and you're doing some amazing work on YouTube. And if somebody hasn't heard of you, you know, my aim is to get the message out to come and check your channel out and all the great things that you're doing, because it really is. I could spend a whole day just going through your videos and being entertained, you know, and not just because you're an interesting guy in the way you do things, but the videos are packed with great information, and I think you're doing a real service for us guys. So thank you so much.
Oh, thanks, Andy. You must be watching different videos than most of the people commenting, because there's some really evil comments in there sometimes. Learn how to play. I mean, cuss words and insulting words that I'm not gonna repeat right now. And you're a hack, and what a shit interviewer. And I was just right. It's not an interview. It's two people hanging out. Yeah. But I mean, yeah. So you must have seen different videos then. Well, maybe you have the wrong guy. It's possible.
Henning Pauly. It's P-A-L-L-Y, right?
No, it's P-A-U-L-Y.
Ah, God damn it!
different Henning. Damn it! Well, now you got to talk to me. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Well, you'll be entertaining, I'm sure. But listen, talking about the comments on YouTube, and we'll come back to the YouTube thing. My channel is much smaller than yours, and I think everybody gets a percentage of hate. Whenever you go out there in the interweb, you know, you get these guys, these keyboard warriors, and they just feel it's Saturday night, they've had a few beers. So I'm sure you've got a thick skin about these things, but
it's the people commenting is usually the negative stuff.
Yeah.
Lots of people who love it just don't comment. Interestingly, those people come into the live streams and they comment in the live stream. So in a live stream, the chat is 99% positive.
Yeah.
Whereas under videos, it's anonymous. In a live stream, it's not anonymous. I can read the name or the pseudonym, yeah. But still, you're directly insulting the guy right there, which you don't. But under a video, you're insulting some random YouTube person.
Yeah.
So psychologically, it's very different. For me personally, I would never say anything to anyone on the internet that I wouldn't tell them directly.
Yeah.
That's just my policy. So always be courteous, always be nice. If I want to critique something, I do it in a constructive manner and not, you're shite.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't work with this comment. What am I gonna do with it? I also don't like the whole thumbs up and thumbs down thing on YouTube, because not that I get many thumbs down, but a thumbs down tells me nothing about what to do better.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've gotten a lot of comments that helped make the channel better. When people said, white balance your cameras, and you have so many cameras, but make sure, you know, they don't look the same. If I realize that bothers people, I'll do something about it.
Yeah,
if there's something with the audio or anything about the format or me or whatever. But I need to know what to fix.
Yeah, absolutely.
A your shite comment doesn't help me, or a thumbs down means nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree with you. Well, you know, if my opinion means anything, I as we said just off camera, you know, I think you provide great content and you're very entertaining, and that to me is what YouTube's all about. So, you know, sod them, as we say in London. So Henning, look, what I want to do is cover some stuff that people might not know about you, and let's get to know you a little bit, the man behind the camera and stuff. So, how old were you when you started playing? And tell me, did you come from a musical family? What's the background there?
My dad played when he was young. He played organ in church,
Yeah.
and he played piano. And if I played piano, it was more like he noodled. He sat on the piano and just improvised classical music. We weren't a very musical household in terms of there was a lot of music that influenced me because my dad listened to Bach, Mozart, and Beethoven.
Right.
And there might have been a Vivaldi in there once in a while, but that was the trifecta. That was the thing. So there wasn't any modern music influence from my parents' side.
Oh gosh.
But my brother in the next room, he listened to music, and I realized when I now listen to that music that he listened to, how much it influenced me. Right. And there was a lot of Saga, Rush, the proggy stuff, but also some later Genesis and pop stuff. And his music definitely, hearing that through the next room, influenced me. I found to music as something enjoyable and something that emotionally moves you really late. I didn't realize music was something you listen to for fun until I was 15.
Right.
Music was always just noise in the background.
Okay.
And I had record player and I had albums, but that was just something that one did.
Right.
But when I was 15, my brother gave me a CD of the first Bon Jovi album. No, Siri, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to no, go away. And I put that on, and then Runaway came on. And that just changed my life instantly.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because it just made me feel something. It made me move. It made me, energetic. And that album just really changed everything. And I was 15 till I realized, music is something to be enjoyed. And then I think I was 16 when I got my first guitar, January 1st, 1990.
Okay.
I got a nylon string guitar because, January 6th. January 1st, 1990, I woke up after a New Year's Eve party with friends. I woke up in a sleeping bag under a poster of Sabotage, Hall of the Mountain King. And his nylon string, his classical guitar was leaning against the wall. He had played for half a year. He had a cheap knockoff Flying V.
Right.
And he said, well, I'll show you something. And arrogantly he said, well, I'm this good. And he slowly played A minor pentatonic up and down. He's like, well, you can start playing guitar, but you'll never get as good as me. And then he showed me an E minor on that guitar.
Okay.
On that nylon string. And 6 days later, I got my own cheap, classical guitar, and it started from there.
Fantastic.
So, of course, my parents encouraged that.
Yeah.
Because my dad was musical, but again, never in a way that he could relate to me or I could relate to him. It was all classical music.
Okay, but he realized that you had a lust for it and that it was something that was to be promoted. He didn't push you back into the classical reign of things. He realized
not at all. I mean, they of course immediately started to get me to lessons and all that stuff, and bands. My mom came to like the concerts, which were horrible. I mean, my first bands were pretty damn bad. But my mom always, she drove me and she did that stuff. My dad was never. And once in a while, maybe twice, he showed up to a concert, but it was my mom that came. But obviously, he at my graduation at Berkeley, he showed up and he was very proud because I was on stage conducting a full orchestra.
Wow.
And that really blew him away. He kind of like always had a little bit of an eye on what I was doing, but then he didn't realize, oh, wait a second, he's actually like a real musician. He actually really knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
and I always tried to impress him, which wasn't that easy. So that graduation concert, that was when he was finally like, okay, now he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's the thing, little boys. You know, I had lots of encouragement from my mother, but my dad was sort of in the background, sort of quietly thinking to himself, you know, what are you doing, son? What is this music doing? And I think when he came to the first concert that was fairly decent, I think he sort of he got it then. And I think do you have children, Henning, by the way?
No, no.
No. Okay. Okay.
Wait,
Well,
wait a second. Wait a second. I got a whole bunch of these.
You do have children. Oh, look at that.
This is a lap dog.
Oh, bless. What a
This is X.
beauty. Hey.
The others are look in the camera, X. Look there. Hello. There. Yeah, no, there's Andy.
Hey.
The other two are over at Leslie's, and then we've got 4 cats left now. One died a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
yeah, we have loads of these.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, we've got 2 cats and a dog. I'm big on animals. I love them to bits. How do you find them in the studio? Are they okay? Are they calm when they're in there?
Yeah, they don't care about the music at all. You want to go down, huh? Yeah, come on.
Yeah. Oh, so tell me, Henning, because we got from like when you were starting to play guitar and you're 15 and you got your first guitar, and then what was the journey? How did you make it to Boston and doing a degree there? What was the route?
I played in a cover band or 2 or 3, and then had my own band. I was always way more interested in creating myself and putting the pieces of the puzzle together than learning riffs from other people.
Yeah.
In Germany, the cover band scene is big. It was never my thing. I literally can't play a single Eddie Van Halen anything, or really most songs by anyone. I'm pretty useless in any kind of jam session. I can jam, but I don't know any songs really. Okay. I can learn them really fast, yeah. But I just don't know the riffs. No. Because I've never done this. So I was always interested in, let's write our own stuff. Let's see how everything comes together, and then let's record it. And I did different bands for a while. There was some prog stuff and I played in a country cover band actually.
Oh.
And I did I didn't go to it was still the army was still mandatory back then. Okay. In 95, 96, something like that.
Okay.
And I didn't do that. I did, instead of going to the army, you can do like social services. Okay. So I worked at a rehabilitation center for people with neurological problems after a stroke and all that. And I was driving to doctors' appointments.
Right.
And I became really good friends with a whole bunch of them, and hearing their stories and how their families support them or not support them, and how they're having troubles with some doctors and fighting against the system sometimes. And I wrote a musical about it. So, or a rock opera.
Wow.
And that became that effort. I did a whole proposal for it to get financing, all that. It never actually made it on any stage because I ran out of time. But that kind of showed my dad that there wasn't a way to make me go into selling steel, which is kind of what he was hoping. And he said, well, look, if you have to be a musician, I want you to be a musician that's capable of actually earning a living with it. So where do I have to send you so that you don't just, a formal education?
Yeah, okay.
And I said, obviously, Musicians Institute was a big thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't know 100% what I wanted to do in terms of major.
Right.
But I knew that because of the music, what I liked was putting it together, the arranging, the drums, the bass, everything, the vocals, writing the songs. Maybe I wanted to do songwriting. Maybe I wanted to do orchestration, something like this.
Sure.
But I wasn't going to be the next Steve Vai, because the guitar it was one element of the whole shebang.
Yeah, okay.
And Musicians Institute or these types of schools, they make you a shredder. They make you a guitar player, not an all-round musician.
Musician, right? Yeah, absolutely right.
Then we looked at Berklee, and at that point in time, Berklee was ridiculously expensive. Not like today, where it's completely insane.
Right.
Back then, it was just expensive.
Right.
Today, it's an insult to humanity. It's ridiculous. Back then, it was $9,000 a semester.
A semester?
And that's without room and board. That's without books. That's without eating.
Oh my God.
That was in 97. So nowadays, it's 20.
Oh, that's true.
Without dorms, I think it's more expensive than Harvard.
Jesus.
It's utterly ridiculous. And here's their
justification.
No. Here's their what I'm looking for. The word I'm looking for is the balls that they have. I get emails from them as an alumni. Please donate. We need money. Next time I get that email, I'm gonna write back, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm like, excuse me, I've paid $130,000 to that school. You still want more money from me? You're taking 20 grand from these kids and their parents per semester.
That is ludicrous.
It's utterly ridiculous. So at that point, it was still very expensive, but I did.
Just out of interest, Henning, in Germany, if you want to do a degree, is it free or do you pay?
No, colleges are free.
Yeah, like it is. I'm in Denmark now, but in England, you're paying £9,000 a year. Sorry, I just wanted to. No, sorry.
There is the German students are complaining about that. I was laughing about that. I'm like, shut up, people, because it's like what, $300 a semester, some fee.
Yeah.
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 50 grand, 300. Come on. So I arrived there. I did the whole first semester and kind of found what I wanted to do. And then some teachers took me aside and said, look, you really know about like synthesizers and the technology, so do that. I think they just needed more students in their major. Right. So I did contemporary writing and production and music synthesis, which is now called electronic production and design, which technically means you know about synthesizers, you know about sequencing programs, which back then was really new.
Right.
And so you know all that stuff. And contemporary writing and production is technically putting black dots on paper, writing for big band, small band, string sections, choir, jingle writing. It's all about arranging and orchestration.
Right.
So it wasn't about songwriting. Songwriting is about lyric writing and getting your emotions into a song. And that's great, but I'd rather work with a songwriter who's an amazing songwriter and then arrange his music.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the thing I love doing the most.
Yeah.
So after the first semester, my guitar teacher was very encouraging. My German guitar teacher, he was like, "Yeah, go to Berkeley. It's good. You'll come back after one semester, but it'll be a nice experience." Great encouragement. But after the first semester, I had all straight A's. So I'm like, okay. Actually, that's not true. I had all A+. Yeah, that kind of continued. I worked my ass off, and in between semesters, I studied the stuff for the next semester so that I could test out of some classes, because every class that you test out of is thousands saved.
Right.
So you get the credit, but you don't have to take the class if you take a test.
Right.
And I did quite a bit of that, and then I did the summer sessions, which are they're 1 month shorter, but they're also a little bit cheaper. And so I did 3 years straight, which is 9 semesters. No breaks, and ended up with 1 B+. That was the worst grade I had. Wow. So I graduated with a summa cum laude from Berkeley in 2 majors, which means you still don't make money, but you have some kind of potential to possibly make money.
Well, that's an incredible achievement, Henning. Incredible achievement. So, the young Henning, he's come out of Berkeley, done all this stuff. Did you then stay in the States, or did you come back to Germany?
I stayed in the States. I would have loved to stay in Boston, but Boston obviously is overrun with musicians.
Right.
Boston's one of the American cities that I'd love to live in, because it's just teeming with, I don't want to say intelligence, but you can go down the street and there's cafes and tea shops and you can sit down anywhere and there's people having real conversations.
Right. Okay. Okay.
And it's a smaller city. You can walk everywhere.
Right.
I love Boston. It's a beautiful city. I've got many friends there. Yeah. But I've never been to LA, and I hated the idea of LA. I don't like the heat, and it's a big city, and it's smoggy. I don't like any of the ideas, but I've never been there. So one of my teachers, Richard Evans, who had won Grammys for working with Natalie Cole and people like that, he set me down and said, "Look, you got to go to LA. You're gonna win Grammys. You're amazing at what you do. That's what you have to do, and don't be scared. Just do it." So if Richard Evans says go to LA, you go to LA.
Yeah.
Went to LA, moved there. God, what a dump! I have no idea why anyone would want to be there.
Yeah, I heard.
And what do? I mean, either you start working in the music for film industry or jingles or TV commercials, which is where a lot of money is there, but there's big companies doing it. Breaking into them means you have to work for one of those big companies. And one of the problems for me was at Berkeley, I had achieved anything anyone could achieve at Berkeley.
Right.
At Berkeley, I was hot shit after 3 years. There are concerts that are very, very important, like the Singer Showcase, where actually it's such an important concept that only teachers arrange for it. They don't give those jobs to students. And twice the teachers came to me and said, "Henning, we're overwhelmed. Can you do some of the arrangements?"
Wow.
So I was, at Berkeley, I was hot shit. Right. In my head, I was like, "Hello, look at me." But that was, in an enclosed environment. Now going to LA, I'd have to start completely from scratch to prove to people who I am. And to get into working in one of those places that does arranging for commercials and all that stuff, you start at the bottom. You get no money. You have to have your own car, and you bring coffee, and you get sandwiches. Yeah. So to me, that felt, well, I can't pay the bills with that.
Yeah.
And I work really well for people that I respect. I don't work well for people if I'm thinking, look, I can do this job 10 times better. What the crap? Right. But that's how you have to be. If you see someone, stammering through an arrangement, and you're like, could you just move that thing? It's not my word. So I started working in Hell, which is a Guitar Center on Sunset, because
it's called in Hell, is it? It's not like you weren't in purgatory.
It's that working at Guitar Center literally is hell.
Oh right, okay.
It's just bad.
Okay.
You make very little money. You're forced to screw over your friends that you work with because it's commission based.
Oh.
So the more you jump on customers and sell them crap they don't need, the more money you make. And but it was paying the rent, and B, the one on Sunset or the one in Hollywood are great places to meet important people.
Right. Okay.
That's where they all shop.
Yeah.
So, but I told myself on the day that I sell something to someone because I want to make money, even though they don't need the gear,
yeah,
I'll quit. Yeah. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be the person selling someone a $3,000 mic and talking them into it, even though they're telling me I just want to do some home recording.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I realized that that's what I had to do to make money, and then I didn't want to do that.
No. Okay.
But 2 days before I did that, before I made that decision, I sold a huge system to an ad agency out in Redlands, the Riverside area, pretty far outside of LA, where San Bernardino is. And it was an ad agency that wanted to build their own studio because the son of the owner played bass in some church band. So he thought he could run a studio. So we sold them a big digital console, which back in 2001 was quite pricey, and a big interface and pods and all that stuff, and keyboards. And I quit Guitar Center, and 2 weeks later I get a call from them saying, well, we can't get a single sound out of the whole system. We need your help. So I went out there and hooked it up for them, and it was very clear to me that they need help on a regular basis. I said, look, I need a job. If you hire me, you're an ad agency. I can write jingles. Jingles are worth money.
Yeah.
I can write jingles. I can produce the radio spots that you need produced. I can produce the TV spots that you need produced. So they hired me for kind of the money I needed. So it was a good deal for them. But for me, it was always like, I don't have regular hours. I come in whenever. And I usually went in late, way late in the morning, but then stayed till midnight.
Right.
And I ran their studio for years, which then later turned into I started doing albums, and we did that all there.
Right. Okay. So that's where that side of so you having your own studio here now. A lot of that, is that from those early days, sort of setting up somebody else's studio? Have you brought, has that been a logical sort of follow on from what you were doing, or would you always have done this, do you think?
I would have always done that. Back before I went to Berkeley, I had like 1 or 2 keyboards and a PC with Cubase.
Right.
I had always, started arranging and recording. I'm not into recording. I'm not nuts about mics and preamps. I'm not nuts about plugins and mixing.
Right.
I hate that stuff. I like making music. The mixing part is something I have to do because someone has to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the setup that you've got there? So the room that we're in now, that everybody will recognize from your videos, this is your YouTube studio, is it? And your guitar studio where you do that stuff, and then you've got another place, or is this how's the setup you've got there?
This was meant as a recording studio.
Right.
So when I bought the house, which is literally on the other side of the street where I grew up.
Right.
I'm in the street where I grew up.
Oh.
And I bought an old little house with low ceilings and all that stuff, and completely renovated it and built an addition. So there's windows right there.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
And there's a door back there, which was actually the door to the terrace.
Ah, right. Okay.
So I'm actually sitting on the old terrace of the place, which we dug a hole into. So you see the steps.
Yeah. Got you.
The kitchen. So that was actually, this was all like 1.50 meters higher.
Right. Got you.
And I said, I don't want the studio or the living room to be those low ceilings because you would never be happy. I need big rooms. So we went down here, and this is the addition. And then we built a living room upstairs that doesn't have a ceiling in it. So it goes till under the roof. So in the living room, it's up to 6 meters high.
Wow.
And so in the whole house, it's all smaller rooms, like an old house.
Yeah.
But the addition is 2 huge rooms.
Wow.
The living room upstairs is 70 square meters, 6 meters high.
Wow.
It's got wood floors. And the idea was, I don't want to build a tracking room for drums and bands because that'll be used 3-4 weeks out of the year, and then it's empty, and it cost me $100,000.
Yeah.
So I built the living room to be a perfect recording space, acoustically treated and all this stuff. And if I had to record drums or a band, you take the couch, turn it around, have a huge space. I've got a multi-core running upstairs. So it was meant as a recording studio. It was never meant for YouTube.
Right.
And that's simply what it has turned into, which now means if you come in here, there's hundreds of cables visible. That's really bugging me. And it looks very unorganized because I had to add all the video stuff, the lighting stuff, and I had to make it work for video.
Right. Okay.
So my next plan, whenever I can do that, is change the whole tables that I have in here, that's what's in front of me.
Yeah.
Wait, here we go. So we have. There was a keyboard on there.
Right.
And rack gear, which is now just drawers.
Right.
And then over here, where the slider is, there were 2 mixers, which of course are gone now. So, and you see all the cable crap back there?
Yeah. Got you.
That's not pretty.
No, it looks like everybody's studio. Don't worry. That's
yeah, but I mean, I'm not happy. So you can see, cameras there now.
Yeah.
Here we go. There's a camera. There's a little screen. There's 2 screens. There's another camera, and there's one, and there's one, and there's another one, and there's floating.
Well, the thing is, and this I do know because I saw one of your videos on it. I mean, it might not be unique, but I love the way that you've got your studio set up, where when you do a review and when you're doing something, you're doing it live, aren't you, with the different cameras, and you've got somebody helping you with the. I mean, that just gives such great fluidity to the videos. And does that make it easier for you? I mean, you're presumably you're not having to sort of do much editing once you've got that.
That's exactly the point. If you usually do a video, what you would do is you'd have one or two cameras, one on the guitar and one on you, and that's probably what most YouTube channels have.
Yeah.
And any shots of the product you do as B-roll.
Yeah.
So before or after, you shoot the knobs, you shoot the ins and outs on the back, or whatever you want to talk about. And when you talk about it, you fly that in.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of editing.
Yeah.
Or let's say I talk about, well, and now we plug this effect into the effects loop.
Right.
Well, then I have to shoot the plugging into the effects loop and I put that in later. So you have to be very organized in what you're saying and what you need to film to support what you're saying.
Yeah.
It also makes it these are great videos, and I absolutely have respect for that. But it also makes it very scripted.
Yes. Yes.
Because it's obviously scripted, because you have to organize what you're doing and film all that stuff together.
Yeah.
Whereas in my videos, when I talk about the effects loop and I point at it, I just have an extra camera pointing at the effects loop.
Yeah.
So when I pull the cables out, you see me doing it right then and there.
Yeah.
So anything I do, as long as I have cameras on it and I can capture it, I don't need any B-roll, I don't need anything. Yeah. I do it all in one take, and the person in there, it's literally a TV studio. There's 4 screens in there right now. Wow. It's just switching to those angles. It doesn't necessarily make the video better, but because of all the angles, I can capture anything you would capture with B-roll.
Yeah.
And it makes the video a little bit more dynamic instead of having a video of one guy sitting there like right now with one camera.
Yeah.
I have 30 videos a month on my channel. Most channels have 2, maybe 3 a week. Having 7 is ridiculous.
Yeah.
A lot of that I can handle because I do a lot of coverage during trade shows, and I stretch that out for a month. So my trade show coverage is not gear-based, so that it doesn't age. It's people-based. It's let's hang out with people and be silly.
Yeah.
So that is always something you can watch 5 months later, and it's not a dated video.
Yeah. So is that when you go to trade shows, are you there on behalf of yourself, or do you go on behalf of a company? Do you go on behalf of Tom Mann or Harley Benton? Or
no, I go for myself.
Right.
It's for my channel. I do my own stuff.
Right.
And so I do that, but then still doing, 15, 20 videos a month is a ridiculous amount of work. And this system allows me to film everything in one go, have one file, which I then have to go through, clean up the audio, of course, which is recorded separately. But then I have one file where I just take little things out where we were on the wrong camera, or I give an instruction saying, go to this camera, or, I got to go pee or whatever.
Right. So so actually you're running all the camera streams in parallel, and then you've edited in essence as you go. But if you want to change a view mid video, you can do that, can you? No problem.
You mean change of view? What do you mean?
Well, if you said that if you get the wrong angle on a particular camera during the process, can you change that as an after edit?
No.
Ah, right. Okay.
No.
Right.
It's one file.
Wow. Okay.
It just means that who's ever sitting on the switcher needs to know how these videos are supposed to work. Okay. Leslie, my girlfriend who's doing it, absolutely hates the job. She'd rather be at the pound picking up poop, and this is her words. She likes picking up dog poop, doo-doo, more than being in a super technological room, which is nicely, with a cup of coffee and switching my videos.
Hey,
it is painful for her. So yesterday I had Hank, who is the drummer for this band that I'm working with, spent the whole day with me because Leslie's working all week. Yeah. And I have to get videos out. And Hank and I did 8 videos yesterday in one day. It was gruesome, and they're all videos of like half an hour.
Wow.
So he struggled with a couple of things because it was the first time of him doing that. But you can't really mess up too much. I mean.
No. But when you're are you doing the same amount of work whether or not you're doing a pedal or whether you're doing an amp or a guitar, is it the same system that you're utilizing every time?
Yes.
Yeah.
If I'm doing an amp, doing a pedal, I can start filming in 5 to 10 minutes right now.
Okay.
It's all I gotta do is turn on this camera. Let's see. Hypothetically.
Mm-hmm. Ah.
Wait, I can't see. There we go. It should be on. Why isn't it on? Oh, because I have to hold the button.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. Wow.
That should be the cutout from yesterday. Can't do it. Obviously, that would be, cut out correctly, and we focus this.
Yeah. Bogner Ecstasy. Lovely.
So technically, that gets cut out correctly.
Yeah.
And so there's an extra camera here. So starting a pedal video, that looks horrible. Starting a pedal video is relatively easy. And from the software, I can show you, I can control the aperture of the camera.
Wow, lovely, lovely.
I can actually control, Leslie can remote control the focus. So I can actually, hello? Why isn't it doing that? Yeah. So she'll sit there and she'll focus the camera. She'll set this all up. This is all remote controlled for most of the cameras.
Wow.
So I can have that sit in there. I can move that around. Doing a pedal video is a matter of minutes setup time.
Right.
Let me get rid of that. And I can, because all the switcher is on the network, it can be controlled from in here or in there.
Wow.
Actually, literally any computer that's on the network.
Wow. Pretty sophisticated.
But doing an amp video, which we did yesterday, is a little bit more complicated because you don't want the amp on the rack.
No.
I need it next to me.
Yeah,
I need it next to me so I can control it, which means it needs to be on a cab. So bring in a cab, bring in the amp, get extension cords in the middle of the room, get from the middle of the room audio to the amp, speaker cable into the system, from the system attenuated because I don't want to blow my ears out, back to the amp attenuator, plugging into the effects loop, which of course we have to test. If the amp has DI out, we're going to have to go and plug in DI. So miking it up, that's a pretty major setup. Then I need an extra camera possibly to film the front panel of the amp. Where my cameras are set up right now, they are possibly in the wrong angles to film the amp head on. Which means yesterday we set up an extra camera just for the front panel of the amp.
What are you using for attenuation? Are you using the aux?
I've used the aux for a long time, but now I've got the Iron Man 2 from Tone King, which is a ridiculously good attenuator. It's also ridiculously expensive, but it's very, very good. So instead of running the aux, I run an extra signal into the Iron Man and attenuate there. Right.
Okay. And can you take a line out from the attenuator into the input for the audio if you wanted to? Is that what
I could, but I run the aux for that.
Right. Okay.
So I run the aux. The attenuator is only going to the cab, where I then have a mic that I'm mixing in with the aux. But it actually has a frequency compensated out, and then you could also run that into an IR loader. So yes, that's possible.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your relationship with Tone Man, because you do a lot of stuff for them. How long have you been sort of working together with them for, would you say?
From the very beginning. The first pedals I ever reviewed were Harley Benton pedals, which I bought on a whim. And I thought, hey, those are really good. Let's make a little video about it with a webcam and some other camera I had. And they were all of a sudden really popular because no one had actually recorded these well. Most people that have these cheap-ass pedals pointed their iPhone at the amp, which is, of course, a crappy video. And I'm sitting in the studio, so of course I got good sounds.
Yeah.
And then I wrote to Toma and said, hey, people like the videos. If you sent me the rest of the pedals, I'll do them all.
Yeah.
So Toman sent me the rest of the pedals, and I did all of them. And that's how I got in touch with Joyo, who actually make the pedals. But my very first video was a Harley Benton pedal.
Right.
And so Toman was always part of the channel. And at some point, they invited me down and asked me if I wanted to do the official videos for their website for pedals, which has nothing to do with my channel. That is one camera down on the pedal, no talking, and you get a couple of clips for the pedal, and then you get all the controls moved.
Right.
And depending on the pedal, that's a very complicated video to do if you have to show what menus do and all this. There's no talking, there's no writing. Everything has to be done with what your hand is doing.
Wow.
And sometimes it's easy. If it's a tube screamer, well, that's easy money. And the deal is I get paid the same amount whether I work half a day on a Helix or 10 minutes on a wah pedal.
Right.
But that's the best deal. Sometimes I get a batch of pedals that's a lot of work, and sometimes I get a batch of pedals that's quickly to do.
Yeah,
But so that relationship has always been there, and they've really become friends.
Yeah. It seems that you've got a very special relationship. It comes across somehow in the videos. And do you and are there other companies that ask you? I mean, all the other stuff that you do, the other the amps and the pedals and whatever else. Are these companies coming to you and saying, "Hey, Henning, can you do the video for us?" Or do you buy them and do the review yourself? And
why would anyone think that?
I don't know.
Andy, why would you possibly even ask me that? Now, how would that work? So I would buy amps and guitars and make videos for them and put them on YouTube. How would I get the money to do that?
Well, the kind of hits that you're getting now, you're getting some major hits. You're probably doing well on the YouTube stuff right now.
Apparently, you have no concept of the world of YouTube. So I wanted to make this video right here for quite a while because I get these things like, oh, he's just a trust fund baby or whatever. People, apparently you, think that that's how I do this. It's impossible. I mean, look at what an amp is in terms of money. Look at how much a guitar is, or even pedals. I wouldn't even be able to do this with pedals to buy them and make reviews because I don't get it. No, it's good because I want to clear this up because a lot of people think, well, you said major hits. I don't get major hits. I get 2,000, 3,000 clicks on a video, maybe sometimes more, and over time the videos get more clicks. But I don't get YouTube sensation hits. I don't think I've got any videos over 200, 300,000, maybe some. But I mean, I don't get the millions. And on average, I don't even get the 10,000. So my YouTube revenue monthly is $700 to $800.
Okay.
And that is my electricity bill.
Yeah. That's really low.
I'm not exaggerating. That's literally my electricity bill.
I hope you don't mind me asking you. It's just interesting to understand the concept of how it all works, and. Yeah, of course. It's from your perspective, it's a stupid question. I can understand, but from my perspective, people think, I'm a YouTuber, and people think that I get money for the stuff that I do, and I don't. So it's interesting to know the economics of it, and if you don't mind sharing it, yeah.
No, let me explain. So there's YouTube revenue, which you get for placing the ads. It's monetized. If you get an ad, people watch it, you get money. If you out there on YouTube, like a YouTuber, please watch the ad.
Yeah.
You don't have to care what, go get coffee while it's playing, but it helps us.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting, on average, let's say 750. Wait, I'll let you know.
Oh, okay.
Right now for this month, last 28 days, $887.
Okay.
That's not bad. Again, that covers electricity and not even the lease for the computer.
Wow.
So I still need a little bit of money to cover that. That's YouTube.
Right.
But I have over 2,000 videos, which also get watched. So that means, look at a channel that has 300 videos or 200 videos.
Yeah.
It's unrealistic for them, if they get similar clicks per video, to get that much money. So most YouTubers in the gear world, what I do, really can't live off YouTube. You can't live off YouTube if you're doing viral type videos, funny videos, YouTube type videos where you're the Jared Dines, the Rob Scallon. You get 1 million or 2 million hits a video. Scale up what I'm making, and those guys can earn a living. Those guys probably make between 5 and 10 grand a month, maybe even more. Okay, but a gear channel, except possibly Rob Chapman, who's very big, but a gear channel with the clicks we're getting, it's unrealistic to assume that we can make a living. If I could make a living, which probably in my case to cover the bills is between 1,500 and 2,000, with a house that I have to pay for and insurance. I have to be self-insured. I've got $400 a month in health insurance because I work for myself.
Right.
Okay? So if you add it all up, it'd probably be two grand that I need a month. It's not possible to get that off YouTube. But even if I got it off YouTube, where would be the money to buy the gear to show?
Yeah, absolutely.
So realistically, to do 30 videos a month, I mean, I would have to make 30 grand.
Yeah.
Or maybe at least 20, which I would never be able to get off YouTube making gear videos.
No.
You can possibly get a bigger channel with lessons. If I do lessons, I don't need the gear.
Yeah.
So that's one aspect. The other aspect of how I can make money is affiliate links. A lot of YouTubers link to Amazon, who pay well, or I link to Thomann, where I'm in a higher range product. There's two different kind of levels. One is called Link Partner, one's called ClickFire. With the program that I'm in, which is ClickFire, I can actually track every click that goes to Thomann. I can see how many people clicked through my videos to Thomann, which is metrics that are important to companies. I can see every single sale. But even more importantly, if you click on a guitar I'm using in a pedal video, because you want to know how much is that guitar. And you're not interested, you're like, oh, $3,000, fuck that, I'm not buying that. But that makes a cookie active. And the cookie lasts for 2 weeks. So if a week later you buy an audio interface, I get 3.5%.
Ah.
So clicking the links under my videos out of interest in the product, just to help me, if you're gonna buy if you're gonna buy something now, and it's a drum head for your drummer, do me a favor, click my link.
Yeah.
Click the link to any product under any video, switch to English or whatever, or to US, whatever you want to buy. I get money from that.
Right.
So probably make that clearer in my videos. It's not just buying that product. And because I have over 2,000 videos and so many links under the videos, in my case, not in case of other YouTubers, but in my case, that equates to actual real money.
Yeah.
Well,
you know what, Henning? I think it's far be it from me to say what I think, but I obviously people, as you've seen from my perspective on things, people have a certain inclination to think certain things happen, and of course, people like me who love your channel, we would love to help you. So I definitely think, well, hopefully the message from this video will get across, and you're very welcome to share it on your channel as well. But I think that people would be delighted to help you in that respect, because the more you'll help, the more you can produce. And it's as simple as that, as simple as that.
People look at all the amps and guitars and say, this guy doesn't need any help, he's rich. Well, yes and no. Let me go further. If I have the guitars and the amps, and even if I got them for free, which it's never free, I can't eat them.
No.
If a company, if I get 20 guitars tomorrow from Ibanez and they're saying, keep them and show them in your videos. The show them in your videos part is the part where it means I'm not selling them, because I have to show them.
Yeah.
So the gear that you see, I can't sell. So that means that act from Ibanez, even though very nice, and it's not going to happen, but let's say that's very nice, still doesn't mean I have my $2,000 a month to cover my bills.
Yeah,
so the Thomann affiliate links really help. That adds up to in between 1,000 and 2,000 euro a month.
Wow.
So we're getting, it's not there yet, but with YouTube and Thomann, we're getting closer. Obviously, I have to tax that. We're getting closer to being able to pay the bills.
Yeah, yeah.
Still not being able to make major leaps and go on vacations and whatever, buy a new car, but we're getting closer to pay the bills. Then there's Patreon. Patreon is, I have some nice fans that donate money for the channel on Patreon. I think that's about $400 a month from diehard fans, which is amazing.
Wow.
Totally, they don't have to do that. They can watch the videos for free, but they're like, hey, we want to help you. That's just, it warms my heart to know that there's people out there.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, I get paid for the videos. Do I get paid for every single video? No. Sometimes I got a product here where I'm like, look, I'm too lazy to talk to the company, and their company I don't want to work with anyway, but it's interesting to the fans. Let's throw it on the table, make a quick video.
Yeah.
The NAMM videos I don't get paid for. I got sponsorship from companies to cover the bills, the flight, the hotel, and all this, which are their logos in front of the NAMM videos, but I didn't go out of NAMM with a penny.
No.
So those videos are all, I didn't make money, but I also didn't have to spend money.
Right.
Which is good. Because it doesn't make sense for someone like me, who is now called an influencer, to spend money so that I can advertise for a brand.
Yeah, sure.
It makes no sense.
No,
if a brand wants advertising, they'll have to spend money.
Yeah.
And this is what's happening. I take money for a pedal video. The deal is you pay me money, I get to keep the pedal, I make you a video.
Yeah.
Guitars. You sent me a guitar, I make a video, you pay me, guitar goes back. Or if it's a guitar that's interesting for me, and I have space, and I have a guitar that's been here for at least 18 months, and I'm not really gelling with it, and it's not a guitar that I 100% need to keep, that goes off the wall. New guitar goes on the wall. I get the guitar in trade for repeated placement in videos.
Right.
And at some point, I'll be able to sell it. Not right away. Right. It's the long game. Okay. Yeah. If I switch out an amp on the amp rack, that amp doesn't go into the living room or somewhere, because how many amps does a single guy need? I can sell that on Reverb and get a portion of the actual value back. So the company paid me in trading the gear for videos, and long game, 2 years, 3 years down the line, I can get a portion of the original value out of the product, and therefore I got paid.
Yeah.
Now, it's easy to say, well, then you're just a paid shill, which of course people call us YouTubers that all the time. We get that all the time. And there are YouTubers, without naming any names, where it's obvious that they will make a video and smile about a product that has nothing to do with their likes or dislikes or with their channel. And it's very clear that they got paid to push some kind of product. I could make endless videos for Chinese gadgets who write to me on Facebook saying, here is Wish, or here is Alibaba, we have these products, can we send you free samples? First of all, no, you can't send me free samples, you got to pay to make the video. And B, why would I talk about a George Foreman grill or something like this? The type of thing that asks to make a video for a grill. He thought it's super funny. He's like, sure, here's my rate. I make you a video for a grill. I don't give a shit. So if it's something I can justify on the channel, because it's somehow related to what I do, I have no problem breaking out of the format once in a while. Like I just did 2 videos for Sennheiser, because A, I use their gear, I use their wireless system. I didn't get paid for the wireless video because I got to keep the wireless mic system and whatever, because I'll actually use it at trade shows, and I realistically use that stuff and I love it. And I'm like, look, don't pay me for it. That's my words. I'm like, don't pay me for it. Just leave me the new WSX wireless. I'm going to confidently talk about it because I actually use it and I love it.
Yeah.
So that breaks out of the whole guitar world. And then they asked me, well, we have this in-ear system. Can you make a video? I'm like, well, once in a while I can do something that's not guitar related. I'm not really an in-ear guy, but let's go for it. Yeah. So yeah, I made a video about the in-ear system, which they're paying me for. Yeah. And I can justify that once in a while on the channel. In-ear is also related to, guitar, live, it's all good.
Yeah.
But I made that video, even though it wasn't something I was super interested in, because, well, I did want to hear what the in-ear system sounded like, and now I'm glad that I have it here. They're loaning it to me because I need it for the live sessions, and the singer upstairs will be able to hear what we're doing down here because we have a killer wireless in-ear. So yeah, it ended up to be very useful for me. Right. But yeah, they offered to pay the regular rate for a video. I'm like, hey, I'm not good. If it's a good system and I got good stuff to say about it, I'm not going to say no. Yeah. So I will review stuff for money that I confidently can get behind. Yeah. Now, there are channels who will not critique anything. They'll do a demo. They're not going to do a review, which is fine. If you demo, no one's going to say you're a paid shill or you're saying stuff that you can't support because you're not saying stuff. You're showing the parts of the product and you're not critiquing anything.
Yeah.
If you don't say, oh, I love this, if you're just demoing it, that's totally fine. If you're reviewing it and you're saying only good things without saying stuff that bug you, that's being paid to shut up about the negative things. And I will never do this. Yeah. Which means for me, a much, much harder negotiation with the company. It means much, much longer conversations. It means being known as some companies called me, an unguided missile. There's a big company who called me that. But I have to do this because primarily I do it for the viewers. If the viewers stop watching because they think I'm paid to say good stuff, the channel's pointless.
Yeah, yeah.
So the first email to any company, I'll make very clear I do reviews. If I find negative things, I'll discuss it with the company, but I will say them.
Yeah.
And I will say this about brand products from extremely good friends. Mm. It doesn't matter if I'm the best friends with the company. It doesn't matter if I hate fuckers from a company. If they make a good product, I will say it's a good product. But on the same end, I have to say, look, this doesn't really gel with me. They should have done this if they're the best friends in the world.
Yeah. But Henning, I've got to say that your this side of you, it comes across in the videos, and that's why they're so appealing, the videos, because you get exactly what you think about the product. And also this thing about you filming everything in one take, you get the real essence of a product. So, bless you, mate. I think that's a brilliant angle to your work.
It's a very long road to be here. Yeah. Now it's easier because companies can look back at the videos with critique, see that they still sell product, and they look at the subs, they look at the clicks, they know it works. And a metric that they always love, which I have, is how much has Thomann, which is a single store, it's not Sweetwater, it's not Music Store, it's a single store, sold through my videos.
Yeah.
Which critique points about the product.
Yeah.
And Thomann's made over 1.6 million euro worth of sales through my product, through my videos. Of course, everything combined. But once you tell a company that, they shut up and say, where do we sign?
Yeah.
And let's talk about this. Never, ever have I signed anything with any company ever. Everything is based on trust. I will only work with companies where it's based on trust. They send me a product. I'll make the video. I won't send them a bill until the video is out. I'll send them an invoice. It's always based on trust. I will never sign anything for any reason. Any company that tries to put a contract in front of me can go off and play with their dingling, which is important to do once in a while. But let's look at critique. I'll tell a company I'm not in the business of destroying anyone's business.
Mm.
I had that conversation with Rob Chapman, who said, look, if I trash something with the influence I have, I could destroy the company. If it's a small company, I'm saying this is shite, they might have to close down. Which is not overestimating his influence. It's probably very likely true. He can't shut down Fender, but if it's a small pedal brand, it would be hurtful. So for me, I will only take a job if what I have to say about the product in terms of negative aspects is not outweighed by the positives.
Right.
If I have small gripes about, oh my God, why don't you secure the 9-volt, or I wish this lit up, or this user interface is stupid, or the treble goes too far.
Yeah.
I had a company sending me 3 pedals and immediately sent me the payment when the pedals were still in transit. And I said, please take the money back. I sent the money back through PayPal because I said, I don't want to be paid. What if I get the pedals and they're complete shit?
Yeah.
And I can't make the videos.
Yeah.
If I can't make videos for it because I have zero good stuff to say about them, then I can't be paid. I can't take their money. Yeah, and I'm not going to make videos saying this is unbuyable.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say who. I had a guitar company say, no, someone else, not the company themselves, some store sent me 2 guitars years ago. And they're very expensive guitars. And I thought they were complete horrible instruments. I couldn't get sounds out of them. They weren't sustaining. Getting them in a mix was almost impossible. I had nothing good to say about them. And I'm like, look, if I make videos for these, I'll have to say, please don't buy these instruments. And that's not the type of video I do. I will critique something, trying to make the company improve their product. But bottom line, it still has to be something that someone finds value in and they will buy it. They don't about the critique I have. Okay. Do you need a case with Schecter guitars? I will always bitch about Schecter selling guitars for $1,600 in a cardboard box.
Right.
If someone doesn't care about the cardboard box, it's still a good guitar to them.
Yeah.
And Schecter can say whatever they want. I will bitch about this.
Yeah. Okay? Absolutely. Absolutely.
These guitars were, sorry to finish this, these guitars were not presentable. Now the company approached me, said, can we send you a guitar? I'm like, well, I had 2 guitars here and I couldn't make videos. And I said, oh, okay. And I told them all my critique. And they're like, well, we actually think we've improved highly. And I said, look, let's do this. You'll send me one. If they're actually better and I can say great stuff about it, let's make a video and you pay for it. If not, the guitar goes back, no harm done. So that's my policy. I will critique, but only if the critique doesn't trash the product. If it's a product that is so horrible that I would have to say, please don't buy it, well, then no one's served by making the video.
Yeah.
Okay. I just did a video for the Rev D20, which I think is a great amp. I don't think it was the greatest amp that Rev's ever done, because they tried in a 1-channel amp to make it a great pedal platform and also have drive.
Right.
And Dan had to compromise the clean headroom to get a great drive sound. And for me, a great pedal platform amp has a lot of clean headroom for pedals.
Yeah.
And that video, I'm great friends with them. And when the video came out, I had a conversation with Derek from Rev. And we talked about the clean headroom, and he said, well, you used the mayonnaise, which of course has more output. I'm like, well, but I'm sorry, you can't just design an amp to only work with single coils, which is kind of what they did when it comes to cleans. And the mayonnaise doesn't have ridiculous output. And I also used it in single coil mode. You know what they did? The first batch of those amps was scheduled to go out 7 days after my video hit. They went back to the drawing board, they modded the channel, and it now has more clean headroom. So the first batch that went out was completely hand modded, and instead of getting into drive at 11 o'clock, now it starts at 2 o'clock. So they gave it 3 hours more headroom.
Wow.
And my critique wasn't to trash the product, but because I'm good friends with Rev, I can't sit here and shut up about it. It bugged me. So I said it. And by saying it, and people writing in the comments, yeah, I was going to buy one, but the clean headroom bugs me, They had market research. They improved the app. Derek's coming by tomorrow night because he's on his way to TGU at Toman.
Yeah.
He's coming by tomorrow night, and we make a video with one of his modded amps, and we're going to say, hey, awesome. Rev listened, Rev modded it. Yeah. So the critique's important. The critique's important because it keeps companies on their toes to not send out shit product.
well, look, forget about the payment and the whatever else. Essentially, you want your channel to be filled with good product.
Yes.
That's your bottom line. And I think that's fair enough. Look, I do a few videos, and I had some pedals that came in, and one of them I felt was unusable, and I told the company that I wouldn't do a review on it because it wouldn't be a nice thing. So I get where you're coming from. I'm not at the same level as you by any means, Henning. Henning, I have a very important question to ask you. The most important question. EYTSCHPI42. Please explain to me what this means.
My initials. Say that in English.
My
initials.
Ah, HP. It's P. Oh, I see. Ah. Question.
It's very stupid. Yeah. My first email address in '95, which is, by the way, still my email address, was that. I still have an AOL email, and people laugh about it. But
yeah. Okay.
It just always stayed like this. It was never meant. My YouTube channel was never meant to be a commercial. I made a YouTube channel like everyone makes a YouTube channel to share little clips of my dog peeing on the floor and stuff like this. So I mean, and then it turned to this, and I never changed the name. But interestingly, when you type in HP, just the letters HP42, you also find it.
Ah, interesting. So you know what, Henning? I really could talk to you for another 3 hours. But what I want to know is what's the future for Henning? Where are we going? What are your views on the next 5-10 years? Where do you see yourself?
Well, I want to be a very rich bitch on some island, but I don't think that's going to happen. Hopefully, I don't know if this YouTube game is going to continue. I think for the channel in terms of growth, there's going to be some point where it stagnates because I've hit all the people that like bald Germans in city shirts saying stupid stuff. My channel's not for everyone. A lot of people don't like me, which is fine, which means at some point the growth is going to probably stagnate. Getting the quality of the videos up is going to be difficult because I kind of hit quality in video quality. Quality in terms of what I do, there's a lot of room. But in terms of video quality, there isn't really anywhere to go. I'm using gear that no YouTuber uses. This is like TV studio stuff.
Yeah.
I just spent another $15,000 on more gear.
Wow.
The light that's on me, that's not like one of those lights like you have, like with a. This is what they use in Hollywood for movies. Wow. That one light panel it's called Light Panels Gemini 2x1. That's $5,000. So I just spent another. I have 3 of these things now. Wait. This is a spot that comes from the back to create a little bit of a headlight.
Oh, wow.
That's $700. So in terms of upping the quality of my videos, there's nowhere to go. I finally have the mic that I love, which is a shotgun from Schöps. Again, something they usually only use in, movies.
Yeah.
But that finally gets me the vocal quality that I want. I don't think I've got anywhere to go there. I wish to build more relationships with companies. I wish to build more relationships with YouTubers. I've created these YouTube events where we all get together. I had this idea, let's just all come together and not do a trade show. Let's make videos together. Let's bring brands in. Let's hang out. Let's be friends so that it's easier during the year, apart from these events, to get a hold of someone, get paid, so that the companies know what channel to go to for what product, to
Sure.
make our jobs. And it is a job. Most of us do get paid, but the thing is, we don't get paid enough, because when you look at advertising in magazines, a magazine ad is $3,000-4,000. And reaches 5,000 people. We don't even often get paid a tenth of that.
No.
And we do full videos with songs and slideshows and photos and $80,000 of video gear, and we can't even remotely ask what a magazine asks for. And that's not fair. So I want our format as YouTube influencers and gear nerds to be much more recognized and much more respected, and that respect should be shown by companies in financial compensation, which is closer to what they're still willing to pay on print ads. So where I'm going is I'm taking these events to where I always wanted them. I started with Warwick as a partner because they had money, and they wanted to do it, and I also wanted to show off Warwick. But then after the first event, which was very successful, they kind of screwed me in the sense of trying to replace me, and kind of they wanted to say what channels and what brands can come and how to run the event. And it should be a YouTuber run event. We should say what companies we work with, and we have experiences with companies. So if 10 of us get together and say, look, this brand, they screwed us over, they don't pick up the phone for us, well, then they don't belong at the event, right?
Absolutely.
And so I wasn't cool with this, and I backed out of GitCon, which resulted in GitCon 2 being pretty sucky, according to everyone that was there. And I went to Thomann and we did TGU, and TGU was a great success. The Thomann team listened to me in terms of what channels and what YouTubers, what companies and what YouTubers play well with what companies. It's a very delicate balance. Now TGU is happening this week, the second one, but they had a different vision. I'm great friends with the Thomann team, but they were going for some very big channels which don't necessarily make sense at the event because they're not gear channels. They were going for some companies that I've had bad run-ins with, and I told them about that. But there are a lot of factors that factor in. At Thomann, it can only be brands that Thomann carries.
Right.
So Mayonnaise, for example, is a great brand, but Mayonnaise could come to TGU because they're not carried by Thomann. So for Thomann, there's some A-list brands that they really would like to be at TGU, but the A-list brands are not necessarily YouTube friendly.
Right.
Okay? So the interests of a big company like Thomann don't necessarily match 100% with the interests of an event like this.
Right.
The brands, the host, and the YouTubers all kind of have to. It's a very delicate balance, and it's tough to maintain that balance at Thomann. And I decided it's let them do the thing. It's going to be great. I think TGUs, they're going to nail it, but they're going to nail it in a way that's not my vision.
Right.
So I backed out of that, and we work together. We're on the phone every day, but I didn't want to be involved in a thing that, for their interests, and I totally get this, they had to say what goes and what doesn't.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do my own thing. And I don't want to say I'm in charge. We're going to be in charge. So I already have a lot of my friends signed up, and I will only sign up companies once all the channels agreed on the date, and we're going to come together. And then I'm going to talk to all my friends who are coming to the event about the brands that are coming to the event. This has to be a thing that we all agree on. I have more than enough companies that are interested. I will only bring guys, as far as channels goes and as far as brands goes, where I know friends are coming together.
Yeah.
You know, the videos that I do with Dave Friedman, they're fun.
Yeah.
I know Dave is just going to be my buddy coming. It's not the guy from the distributor with the suit. Of course, we all want to make money. I want Dave to pay me. Dave wants great videos, and he wants to sell amps. It's all about, in the end, providing content and sales in some way.
Without
but I don't need the sales guy here.
No.
I don't need the number cruncher. I want the cool guys.
Yeah.
So it's going to be that kind of event. There will be no host. There will be no company putting up money. Wow. It'll be the YouTubers. It'll be the brands. We'll get together. No one's going to bring us coffee. Frickin' Brian Wampler has to get his own frickin' coffee. I want Dave Friedman to be in the backyard manning the barbecue. You know, it's gonna be frickin' Glenn Fricker has to set up tables.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an event where it's very clear that we are all in charge.
Yeah.
Maybe even the brands as much as the YouTubers, because it'll only be friends coming together. So that was my vision from the very beginning, which I don't think is possible when you have multi-billion-dollar or multi-million-dollar companies. Warwick is a huge company. Thomas is a huge company. There's no evil involved, but interests are there. Hans Thoman is looking at numbers. The marketing team is looking at numbers. And if some company then comes to the event where I know for sure they've done some stuff to YouTubers that's not quite cool.
Yeah.
It's still important to Thoman to have them there. So, you know, and it was clear that the only way to get this done the way that I envisioned it is I'll do it myself. I'll do it completely independently. I'll get the financing from the companies. I'll only sign up enough companies to get the event financed. We'll all go out at zero, but we'll have a great event. So that's what I'm planning on right now, probably September.
Okay.
And that's why I invested a lot of money in extra cameras and extra video gear. So I'll be able to host 3 to 4 video rooms all here.
Wow. Well, I wish you lots of success with that. I think you've got your headspace right on how to do it. I think it comes across, Henning, that you're a people person, you know, and I think that's.
I don't like people. I'm very, very happy when people stay the fuck away, and I'm here by myself. There's a dog, you know. People can no. I don't like. No,
I think you lie, my friend. Henning, listen, you've been an absolute delight, and you've been not only inspiring, but you've been very open and honest, and I really thank you for that. I'm aiming to get this out hopefully on Friday afternoons, ready for the weekend. I'll keep you informed of that, but I would just like to say thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you, and I hope maybe nearer the time, nearer September time, maybe we can do another interview and we can talk about, you know, how the preps are going and that sort of thing. Yeah, it'd be very nice to stay in contact with you. And well, what can I say? Thank you so much. Have a great day. I hope you find a cleaner.
I texted the lady. She should be here at 2, hopefully.
Fantastic.
So hopefully she doesn't run out, because it's a kind of special situation here. But I need some help here.
I'll be over. All right, Henning, you have a fantastic day, my friend.
Thank you so much, Andy. Now is the time to go to the bathroom because I gotta pee.
Okay.
Okay.
Have a great day.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.